I've been joined by Kamaldeen Abdullah. He's the National Nasara Coordinator of the NPP, and I guess he sat in that meeting yesterday. Okay, I have to ask him, did you sit in the meeting yesterday?
Sure, I was in the meeting.
Right. Well, this one you're speaking as a communication person for the party, so it's good. And suspending Kwabena Agyepong, Crabbe, lesser of two evils. That's what Dr. Mwakuban of KNUST says. He's a political science lecturer there. He says, well, even though there are concerns, they should be diffused because, as far as he's concerned, it can't affect the party's presidential fortunes next year. According to him, the NPP going to the general elections with a divided front, fested with indiscipline, would rather have been dire for the party. And he thought it was the best decision that the party took in its own interests. He says the suspensions are in order. We're talking about the suspensions of General Secretary Kwabena Agyepong and also Second Vice Chairman of the party, Sammy Crabbe. Okay, so the report was presented to the committee, and then you deliberated on it?
Well, good morning to you, Roland, and good morning to the cherished viewers out there. It's been a long time.
Yes, it's been a long time.
Long time.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we have, as a political party, bodies or structures put in place to ensure that there is smooth running of the party. Now, again, it is important to note that just like any other political party, our party, NPP, comes with its own constitution, which I believe is a demand that, I mean, the principle establishes for. Frankly, you cannot have a political party that does not have rules and regulations in place. So with ours, we have such. Clearly, again, when you look at the mother law of this country, which is the Constitution of Ghana, which establishes the formation of a political party there, before we come to Political Parties Act and all that, it tells you that there must be some sort of democratic, as it were, principles followed in every political party or any political party formed in this country. When you look at Article 55 thereabout, it talks about that. Clearly, as a party, we came out with these rules and regulations, and also embedded in our constitution is the disciplinary, as it were, measure to be taken against anybody, in fact, any member, okay, who flouts the rules or the laws of the particular, of our political party. Now, the question is whether there were petitions, whether there were proceedings by the disciplinary committee regarding Sammy Crabbe and the suspended General Secretary. Yes, clearly the constitution of the party says that proceedings of disciplinary actions or disciplinary, as it were, actions could be initiated or is supposed to be initiated by the disciplinary committee. And I believe that they went through it, petitions were looked at, you know, the petitioners came on board, the one they petitioned against also was on board. They looked at it until they came out. Except to add that someone like Sammy Crabbe, my second vice chairman, he did not avail himself to the proceedings at all, or to even the disciplinary committee at all. They are forced to come out with their verdict, because if there's a petition brought against you, you are given an opportunity to come and answer, or to come, as it were, to respond to it. Then you don't come to respond. What matters is that the party must move on, okay? And in so doing, there will be a default kind of judgment given out. Okay. And I guess that
so the decision was taken in absentia.
Of course, it was taken in absentia. It was taken. He didn't avail himself to the proceedings at all. So yes, yesterday the recommendations came from the disciplinary committee to NEC, which you asked me a question whether I'm a member. Yes, indeed, I was there. Unanimously, NEC upheld those reports of the disciplinary committee, and also agreed that they do be suspended indefinitely, and that's what happened.
Now, in trying to go by the proceedings, there have been concerns raised by some people within the party who said, in dealing with executives who flouted regulations, in this very stead, you didn't use the same regulations as stipulated in the Constitution. I would want to know that.
That's a very interesting one.
I don't know whether you've heard about this before.
I clearly, I'm surprised because when you look at the party's constitution, I think somewhere Article 4 tells you or gives you the disciplinary proceedings in the party and how it should go. Of course, officers, non-officers, founding fathers, whoever, so long as you subscribe to the ideology of NPP and you are a card-bearing member, of course, you are subject to the proceedings therein. And when you look at, I think somewhere 5A or 5C thereabout, it clearly tells you the proceedings that the disciplinary committee ought to follow in ensuring that a matter is being heard. And it tells you that a disciplinary action could be initiated or can be initiated by the disciplinary committee, okay, as and when a petition is written or brought to them. Okay, they will only have to look at it, look at the merit of it, and then write to the respondent to avail himself or herself, the disciplinary committee. So I don't know which regulation that is not followed. I'm surprised. That's a fact. I'm surprised. A full report was given us. And mind you, there's a party where virtually almost everybody understands whatever he or she is doing in the party in terms of knowing what is right and what is wrong, in terms of knowing the arrangement in the party. So I'm really surprised that a body like NEC, okay, will say that, look, this is not the procedure, and yet they will go ahead and then uphold whatever that comes before it. A body like National Council will say that, no, this is not the procedure, and yet we are going ahead to uphold it. A body like Steering Committee will say that, no. And then, you see, I don't get it. We are dealing with people who understand. Don't mind you, we are yearning to become, as it were, governors or managers of this economy as a country, or to issue good governance to the people. And of course, if we don't start it within, we cannot do it without. So whoever argues that right procedure wasn't followed, this wasn't followed, the person is actually not being, truthful to us out there. I guess the respondent, in the case of Kwabena Agyepong, you know how astute he is, how intelligent he is, how smart he is. Of course, he knows what's up. And of course, if there's any issue that is supposed to go contrary to the rule, I guess he's going to raise it. He's availed himself to the committee. He went through these proceedings. He went through the sentence until the report came out to NEC from the DC. So it is Honorable Crabbe who says, no, I'm not going to avail myself to it. I don't think that.
Who was the chairman of the DC?
I'm going. The chairman of the DC, disciplinary committee is Reverend Asante. I think he's I don't know, most Reverend Asante or so.
The former General Secretary Nano Hininto, what role did he play in the DC?
No, he's not part of the DC.
Okay.
He's not at all. He's not.
All right.
He's not. He is only a member of NEC, and in fact a non-voting member. He's not a voting member of NEC. Past officers are members of NEC as well, but they are not.
They don't have voting rights.
They don't have voting right.
There are concerns, especially from critics out there, who said that perhaps you could have, as a party, dealt with this a lot more differently. Avoided suspensions, could have gone on and worked on with the 3 individuals as they are now.
You see, nobody is above the law. Nobody. No one. When you read the constitution of our party, it tells you even the founders of the party, and I believe the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party is part of the founders of this particular party. Nobody is left out. Point is that, like I said, there are rules for you to follow. There are duties prescribed for each member of this party. Now, if you flout those laws or those rules, as someone who is very concerned and also a party member, thinks that you are bringing the party's name into disrepute, and have evidence to prove that, of course, can petition the disciplinary committee. That is a norm we've all agreed it should be. Okay? So, where's the problem? Now, somebody comes out. Of course, you are going to have various school of thoughts coming out to say this is good, that is not good. Let's not forget that. Look, point is that if we don't put or institute discipline, if we don't go while going forward and then turn blind eye on so many issues, then of course there's going to be a society where rules will not be working, laws will not be working. Rule of law must be in place. We are seeking to govern this country. We are seeking the mandate of these people or the people of this country to govern this country. And of course, we should ensure that our house, there is discipline in the house. You see, Roland, it's not the first time a political party is suspending a member. I mean, why should it be? No, of course, there will be some school of thoughts coming out to say that we are critiquing whatever you have done. I agree. But the issue is that we must, why did we put measures in place to ensure that discipline is at its peak in the party? Once we have set provisions there, once we are supposed to ensure everybody or anyone who is a member of this party, of course, can be subjected to the rules therein. So for me, it's a political party. We've taken a decision. We have to move on. Being suspended doesn't mean that you're out of the party. No, you can be called tomorrow.
Because I was just about to come on to
you can be called back.
If you're suspended indefinitely, what does it mean? Or if you're suspended for a period, let's say 15 months, as first was proposed, what happens?
Now, what happens is that NEC is a body that saw through. First of all, the disciplinary committee would have to look at it, give a recommendation to NEC. The NEC would then take it up, whether to uphold it or not to uphold it, or whether to vary whatever recommendation that you have given them or not to vary them. Okay. Now, point is that after that, if only they uphold it, they uphold it and tell you that, look, you are suspended, or the report has been adopted, and having adopted it, we have discussed it, and recommendations therein, we are going by it, or we are varying the recommendation due to 1, 2, 3 reasons. Of course, you can, as it were, if they give their judgment, you who is affected can appeal against the judgment. Okay? You can appeal against it. You have 21 days or so to do that to the higher body. So I think that at NEC level, if this is done, the next thing is that if you feel so much aggrieved by whatever NEC has done, you can actually appeal against it at National Council. The National Council would either quash whatever happened at NEC or also reaffirm it. Okay. In the case of suspended chairman Afuku, you saw that he appealed finally and then went to National Council. National Council apparently did not listen to his plea and said that, look, we are reaffirming.
So it's the same procedure. They can also appeal to the National Council.
You can appeal to the National Council.
Okay. At the end of the day, is it true that the committee, the DC, had proposed a 15-month suspension for the General Secretary, but NEC decided to extend it? Or to vary it?
Yeah.
What was the rationale?
Yeah, of course, a lot of factors would have to go into it. Like I told you, mind you, is a party that deals with so many kinds of people. Especially we have lawyers, we have, all kinds of people who are very respected in our society in there. When the matter came before us, we looked at it and said, look, if you are given some time, or this is your suggestion, we think that, look, there's still much room for things to be done. But these are our reasons. We want to vary this. And then we give some reasons and then vary it, as it were, that from the 15 months to the indefinite suspension.
I see you're dealing with the thing succinctly, usually than you would have on matters. But let's ask one or two other questions.
Okay.
For all the things that follow, the post-announcement period, deliberation, celebrations and things like that, do you think that will bode well for the party? Or, better still, the decision that the party has taken, what do you think the future holds for the party prior to the 2016 elections?
Who am I to sit out here publicly to say that the party's decision is not a decision that is good? I am rather supposed, because I am enjoined by the constitution of the party, that I should uphold decisions of the party publicly, of course, in high esteem. I may have some, as it were, divergent views or some reservation regarding the decision of the party. But I am not supposed to publicly chastise whatever.
Bound by those.
Absolutely, I'm bound by those decisions, and I will go on. Now, point is that whether it will affect us politically going forward or not. Remember, even a single vote counts in NPP. I agree, and I always go by that. A single vote counts. It matters. That's why the Constitution of Ghana tells you 50% plus 1. Okay, so by a reduction of 1 means that you have actually lost a vote if the person says, I'm not going to vote for the party. So these are decisions that before you take it, you put a lot of factors into consideration before taking it. Because it is not in the interest of anybody in the party to get somebody out of the party. That we should all know. However, it is not also in the interest of anybody in the party to get someone in there to always bring the name of the party into disrepute or into question. Okay? So for me, I believe that the party took a strong and a firm decision. It is okay, we can reverse it by the right procedure. We can come back again to the status quo that we had, okay, if the person is, as it were, remorseful and then shows a good behavior and appeal against it. And of course, we look at it, we can still go back. So my point is that going into 2016, it's not about the suspensions that we're going to talk about. Why? 2008, what didn't happen? Prior to 2008, I think 2006, 2007, thereabout, Josiah Ayi, who was the General Secretary of NDC, was pushed out. What happened? Didn't they move towards power? They got their power. Not he alone. Look at what happened in Koforidua when it comes to their Congress. People were lashed with horsewhips. Seriously. The chairman was treated anyhow. He went out to go and form a party, DFP. You get what I mean? Some of these things happen in the
subsequently he's even back into the party.
Absolutely. Well, not too long ago, we heard that Sam George, okay, I don't know where it is now, but we read in the media that, yes, he's been suspended from the party, even after winning a primary. I mean, after winning to become the candidate of the party. Okay? Ni Amasana Mali, same. So it happens everywhere. The point is that there must be discipline in every society you find yourself. And I believe the NPP is not an exception at all.
Okay. Dr. Arthur Kennedy, you know he's based in the U.S.
Yes.
He's been writing a lot of things in the media. He believes that decision only weakens the party and renders it ineffective to contest the main opposition NDC in the 2016 election.
You see, it is his opinion. It's one thing sitting somewhere and taking a pen to write whatever you have as opinion. And it's another thing being on the ground in Ghana and working with people in the party and ensuring that your party that you so much love, that you can easily pick a pen and paper and write against, okay, wins the power. There are two things. We sit here. The hinterlands. I just came from some of them villages. The Toron Pines, the Mofran Fadrin, and all. Go and look at what is happening in Amenfi West. That is what we got. Dr. Kennedy can be in his own comfort zone and pick a pen and paper, write whatever he wants to write, and bring it out. It's not to say that you don't have your views. But see, if you call yourself a true blue party person, you don't do what Dr. Kennedy continues to do. For me, I've never agreed with him. And I will never agree with him.
But do you read his posts?
You see, honestly, I treat it with contempt. To a very,
but you read it. You read them.
Do I even have time?
Okay.
I mean, I treat whatever he writes with contempt. I don't even have time to look at it. Because if you really, really love NPP, and you are an NPP man, you don't sit somewhere in California or wherever he is to write some things like that. And each time you wake up, all you do is to attack your party.
These are the charges against the two, and others before him are all laughable. They diminish the proud traditions of the NPP.
I believe wisdom is not in one man's head, and I guess that in as much as we welcome divergent views, that Kennedy should be told and know that the disciplinary committee we're talking about, the kind of people who are part of the disciplinary committee, indeed, of course, he should know the kind of people we're dealing with. You see, the Dr. Adukufuors, the Reverend Asante Intris, the Professor Mark Okwe's, and all those people, these are stalwarts. These are people who understand the dynamics of politics in this country. He's not the only one who understands it. He sits down and says the charges brought against these people are laughable. Let me tell you, if he, Dr. Kennedy, he should know that just going to pick someone's pen, no matter how trivial or how little that might be, so long as it amounts to larceny, or amounts to stealing, that is not yours, just a pen. Of course, crime has not got any little shred of measure. No matter how small crime is, it's crime. No matter how small a charge is, it's a charge. You see, what he's not questioning, Dr. Kennedy is not questioning, whether those charges are, as it were, triable or they're supposed to be looked at or they're not supposed to be looked at. Are they mistakes or they're not mistakes? Are they commitments that people, are they issues that people have committed, and at the end of the day, they're supposed to actually answer questions or not to answer questions? These are things you should be looking at. But whether they are laughable or they are not laughable, point is that there has been an occasion that, of course, warrants someone to petition, which someone has petitioned, and someone has been called to come and respond. He's come to respond. Whether it's satisfactory or not satisfactory is determined by the committee, and then they write that report to NEC for NEC to take a decision. So you can sit there in the US and then think that you are the only person who is so intelligent and so knowledgeable. In fact, he might not even be privy to the proceedings they're in. You know what? Sometimes decisions are taken based on what the outcome of the proceedings. I tell you, you go to the law courts and you see what happens. The judge might even raise the issue, or a plea is that, a charge is read against you. Then you get up there. Well, the proceedings will tell whether you are innocent or you are not innocent. Okay? The evidence that people will bring out to adduce will also show whether indeed you are innocent or not innocent. And it takes a whole lot of work for a judge to reach a conclusion.
In looking at the decisions yesterday, were there dissenting views?
Minorities? No, it was unanimous.
It was unanimous.
It was unanimous. Across. It was unanimous.
And the last question I have to ask before we go on to the next subject. There are concerns that because the three have been suspended, already Paul Afoko is in court. The two others also may try to exhaust all the process. If they are not satisfied, they also tend to occupy themselves and the party with the issues of the legalities. The concerns are, take you away from the things that as the biggest opposition party you need to be focusing on prior to 2016.
You know what the framers of the constitution of our party have done that I'm so much enthused about and so happy with? They came out with what we call standing committees in the party. And we have what we call the Constitutional and Legal Committee. Constitutional and Legal Committee. Now, as and when writs of summons is brought against the party, or some sermons or some courts as it were cases is brought against the party, these are people who sit down to peruse whatever comes before us and then advise the party on the next line of action. So, you see, committees do their work. They will be reporting to the body of the party. At the same time, let's not forget that we are mandated by laws of this country to put up candidates for elections, for public elections in this country. So we are working towards our election while the Constitutional and Legal Committee will be working towards whatever is brought against the party. Mind you, we are subject to the rules of Ghana. We are subject to the laws of Ghana. Whatever the law court in Ghana says, of course, prevails upon us, and we are bound to support whatever the law court says. And of course, by Article 33 of the Constitution of Ghana, you and I have our right to go to the court if we feel that our rights have been actually trampled upon or infringed upon. So for me, I have no problem with someone going to court. Go to court. Constitutional and Legal Committee is there. They will look at it, advise us. We will also avail ourselves. We will all do the arguments there, and then move on. The party, for me, is bigger than any individual. And the party will go on and triumph no matter what happens. Trust me.
Okay. Let's move on to the subject of the Power Minister and Power. He'll be appearing on a TV program, TV3's Hot Issues, this very Saturday. That'll be tomorrow. And in it, he says, well, Doomsaw is supposed to be ending before the close of December.
You see, with all respect to the Power Minister, now I find it very difficult to believe him. Very. Honestly. Not too long ago, this is the man who came out to say that, to ask a journalist whether he said that by the end of December, the Doomsaw will end. Not too long ago. Then the man said, look, the president said so. And the president was actually speaking because he thought that he had put you there, and you said that by the end of December, it will go. So the president was speaking, to whatever you had said earlier on, that by December, if Doomsaw doesn't end, you are going to resign. You know what he said to the journalist? He asked the journalist if he's a spokesperson to the president. Not too long ago. Then for him to come out again, not to when they went to commission the badge. You know what he said there? He says the arrival of the badge does not mean it is an end to Doomsaw. Okay? He told us that this does not mean it's a panacea to Doomsaw. The next moment you are telling about December, Doomsaw will end. Which one should we take? You see, I thought that I'm one of those who are against this formation of Power Ministry. On the 14th of October 2014, right, when the president announced the formation of it, I was like, do we need it? We're only going to blow the numbers of our ministers in this country and get some people being on subvention and be enjoying our booty again. And of course, that has come to pass. The Power Minister is completely not doing a good service to Mother Ghana. If I were the president, he would have been sacked long ago. by the comments that he passed to the journalists. He doesn't believe in doing the right thing. I mean, he says this today, and the next morning he says that. How many times haven't they promised us the arrival of this badge? How many times? And you know what is happening now? People tended or gave their tenders to assist in the supply of fuel. You know, we're going to buy light crude, which is very expensive, quality one, to fuel this power badge that has come. Okay? There has been some companies who came out to say that, look, we are capable of providing fuel for this and all, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you that there's a company that offered $2 million a month. As we sit today, that company has not been given the contract. Rather, we've gone to give it to a company that is supposed to charge us $9 million a month. Value for money. Very important. For me, I don't believe this government again when it comes to the issue of energy at all. And I believe I'm not the only one. Many watching us out there are not happy with this government. It's either the president says this today, the next moment the minister will come and say this, the next moment VRA will come to say that, the next moment Gas is talking about something, we are going to cut supply to Ghana, the next moment Ghana Gas is refuting the claims of power ministry. Confusion all over. And you want me to speak to this matter and say what? Because
in it is stated all the things that are being done. There will be 120 units in place at Twabo.
Well, we are tired of this.
150 TAPCO. There's also TICO.
Yeah, we are tired of this.
But you don't know which will add on 120 megawatt. There will also be a Mary power plant.
Yeah.
There will be the Pond Thermal power plant, and then we have Camp
We hear Ameri is over. They are done doing whatever. You know, the Ameri was what brought about the controversy between Ghana Gas and the Power Ministry, when they said that, look, Ghana Gas had to, as it were, stop supplies because of blah 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 blah. Issue a statement
because there was power rationing, increased power rationing than the usual one.
Then they wanted to blame it on Ghana Gas, yes. And Ghana Gas came out to say no, we are ready. It is rather these people who said that they wanted to do this, and we only gave them some few engineers to assist them in all. You see, my point is that the whole energy situation in this country is not handled well, and I wonder why Ghanaians were quiet.
What do you expect?
We are so quiet, Roland. Point is that this government must be told that we cannot continue to be under doomsday for 4 good years. We can't do that. 3.5 years is gone, and we are still experiencing doomsday under the ineptness of His Excellency the President of Ghana. When we say he's incompetent, they say we shouldn't say the government is incompetent. We don't have power. Businessmen are crying. You are crying. Media houses are crying. Everybody is hot. Yet they come out with rhetorics. The next moment is generation, capacity. The next moment is that giving us a whole lot of industrial terminologies. We are not interested in that. What I'm interested in is that as a businessman, employing people and ensuring that my small-scale industry that I have grows, I need energy. AGI, Association of Ghana Industries, have had calls to go to the presidency several times to appeal to the president to ensure that energy is given us. This has not been done. Only for us to get up day by day and be reading rhetorics in the newspapers that our power minister said he should concentrate on resigning by the end of December. If I were him, I would have tendered in my resignation by now. Because I know very well that by the end of December, he says next week it is going to end, right? We'll see. He says next week. I mean, I'm not actually professing doom for this country. But my point is that I'm not going to believe whatever this man says until doomsday is over clearly. I don't trust it.
Well, let's move on to the last subject. And it says rating agency Fitch has indicated it will review Ghana's credit rating to a favorable position only if it sees that it sees a lot more commitment on the part of government to check rising expenditure. We know that they give us a B rating with a negative outlook. And for this will also mean that private sectors are being warned not to invest in Ghana's bonds because of fears it may have challenges in paying back on time. Well, already we know that our debt portfolio has increased substantially, but
deficits
yes, so high. And investors around the world also anticipated to make sure that the cash in went, because now we give a lot more interest rates.
When you ask me about the future of this country under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, with the poor handling so far, I will tell you the future is bleak. Very bleak.
That is if it's still an NDC-led government.
Of course, that's a very bleak.
But if
it's not going to be still.
But if it's an NPP-led government, then it will be okay.
Why? Do you think Ghanaians are going to leave this ineptness to continue in this country? We're not going to allow it. They gave you a mandate. And before giving you a mandate, look at what you said prior to the 2012 election. There is going to be over 5,000 megawatts of power. What will you do with it? And somebody say, I'll be a baba. Somebody say, I'll be this. The next moment, the power is not there. The same person can tell, I'll give you 200 schools. The next moment, you have 3 schools or 2 schools commissioned. The same person will come and tell you jobs and came out with a green book. Over 1.9 million or 1.6 million jobs have been created. The next moment, when you come out with your achievement the next time, the 1.6 million jobs is missing. You see, these are the kind of people we are dealing with. We're talking about the ineptness, the poor handling of this economy. Only for people to be put in positions to be siphoning Mother Ghana, our hard-earned resources. That's what they do. You see, when they go, you go to Jida, look at Suba, look at whatever, all those, the has always been added to whatever they are doing. They are milking Ghana. They're sucking Ghana. Okay, and that's all they are good at doing. When they talk of corruption, the next one they'll come and tell you, we are prosecuting. Did you put measures in place to ensure that the person doesn't even go and steal and you prosecute? You didn't do that. Then you come and stand and say that we are prosecuting this, we are going to retrieve the money. You wait until the person finishes galloping the money. You say, I want to retrieve it. He should vomit it out. When? So for me, for Fitch to come out to say that there are some conditions that they are looking out for. Now, should they get those conditions, then the ratings in Ghana might go higher. Clearly, overspending is cited, and that's a fact. Prior to 2012 election, our deficit had to move through to about 11%. As we sit now, I think deficit is a bit high, 6 point something or 7, I don't know. Okay, but it's a bit high. Interest rate so high. Okay, people don't have confidence in the bonds that we are even issuing. Recently, we went to the bond market. What happened to us? We couldn't fly. So clearly, some of these things points to the fact that the economy is indeed in shambles and it's not working well. We are in checkered times, and the Mahama-led administration is indeed not doing a good service to Mother Ghana. And it's about time Ghanaians show them the exit. It's about time we let them understand that we have been through this poor handling for some time, and that they should move out and leave us.
But if you look at what the finance minister says in his budget, he says efforts are being made to make sure that they streamline the economy in such a way that the various sectors that perhaps may not have been seeing enough of the expenditures and the investments gets the needed boost.
But we've always heard this. The finance minister have always said that they are putting measures in place. Directives have been given. Whatever. They've always said this, and yet we don't see anything. Where are we today? Ask whether our forest market is doing well. Poor. We're not doing well. Ask whether or not our GDP, that debt to GDP ratio is doing well. It's a disaster. Okay, ask whether salaries are well paid. It's a disaster. I mean, basically, almost every angle and every facet of this economy is not doing well, and that's a fact. So for me, the finance minister can say whatever he wants to say. It is the reality on the ground that tells you whether we are doing well or not doing well.
Anyway, how's the campaigning going so far for the party?
Well, very good. We are in Amenfi West now. There's a by-election to prosecute, and then we're doing it. The seat, of course, was held by NDC until the death of the MP. All of us are there. The PPP is contesting, NPP is there, and also UFP is also contesting. We have about 4 political parties there contesting, and NDC as well. I know the best will come out on our way. Okay. We're doing a lot. Many people on the ground are not so happy and so enthused about what the government is doing at all. Therefore, I guess that there's going to be a punishment meted out to them clearly.
Okay,
by putting them out.
Okay, thank you very much for passing through this morning. And we've had in the studio Kamaldeen Abdullah. He's the National Nasarawa Coordinator of the NPP. And thanks for joining me this morning. It's a privilege to have you once again.
It's good to have me, and it's good to also
be here too.
Be here.
Okay, and I wish you well, especially in your efforts to make sure that you galvanize the people around your political party and the message that you have for the Ghanaian people for 2016.
Thank you so much, Roland. But the Ghanaians should remember that we have an incorruptible person in this country who is seeking to lead Mother Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Good morning to him wherever he is. Okay.
Well, I say thank you very much, Kamaldeen. We're taking a break. When we come back, Becky will be here with a lot more entertainment. So do stay on. As always, entertainment is brought to you by Atel.